I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out.
You heard what my son said. Would you like to get some knockout deals on some sensory processing toys, stimming behavior toys, autism toys, and the like? Do you want to see how I two-piece the prices on those items? Then stay tuned and I'll tell you how. Hey y'all, Superior Lovery with Superior Lovery Cuts Coupons here. I'm here to let you know that not only am I a couponer, but I'm also a mom of an autistic child. My son, who is now 9 years old, was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder mid-range when he was 5 years old. It's been quite the challenge dealing with the autism itself, let alone fighting with the school system to advocate for him, to advocate for his communication style and the special needs that he has. It can be really challenging, to say the least. And it's also challenging to be able to afford some of the resources that he needs, such as the stimming toys, the sensory processing toys that he needs to help him cope with everyday activities at school, and even help with the social skills that he's lacking, help with his anxiety, his meltdowns, and things of that nature. There's been some ups and downs, some highs and lows along this journey with autism. My son started off at 3 years old, pretty much nonverbal, and then he had to learn sign language. And then he was worked with quite a bit with some of the therapists, speech therapists and things like that, and he began slowly to learn how to talk. I did have to work with him a lot as far as reading. I did flashcards with him. I did the magnetic ABCs, the number blocks, lots of instructional type videos, lots of learning videos, learning cartoons and things like that. It's been a very challenging process in order to get him up to the language skills and communication skills that he needed. And finally, through prayer and by the grace of God, he was able to start talking, start communicating, and start speaking out of his mouth. And I thank God for that. I praise God for that. And he's been thriving ever since. He's now an AB honor roll student. He's in the gifted program at his school. He makes very high scores on his state testing. And so I'm very proud of him. We've come a long way. And he still does need help from time to time with dealing with some of the challenges at school that come with his autism, such as bullying, developing social skills, self-esteem, and things like that. And so that's where some of the sensory processing toys come in handy. Some of the stimming toys come in to help facilitate that. There are a couple of websites that I like to visit to purchase those items. Mainly it's Amazon. I've also visited Temu before in the past for those, and there's one other specialty company that deals strictly with autism and autistic sensory processing toys and things of that nature. So I'll share that with you in just a bit. So I'm just going to briefly share some of the sensory toys my son currently have in his book bag, such as this little twisty kind of tie mechanism thing here. Just kind of moves around. He can kind of fidget with it if he gets nervous or anxious. He also has this one where he can just kind of push the little balls inside of the holes and fidget with that. He also has this expanding one. So they're not all going in his book bag at the same time. He does rotate them out and alternate them. He has a little Rubik's Cube. He even has more practical items, such as a coping chart to help him recognize his emotions and also lets him know what to do to cope with those emotions. So there are plenty of resources that I like to utilize. I really like to go to the free resources first if I can find anything. Sometimes you can find federal government agencies that will send you out brochures and fact sheets and different things like that. They will mail them out to you free of charge and free of the shipping cost as well. So I will share a few of those websites with you. If I don't say them in the video, I will leave a link for them down below in the description box. So one of my favorites is a company called Harkla. They do specialize in toys and different training and videos for kids with special needs. They also have YouTube videos. They have a store that you can shop at, and it's a pretty good organization. Another good resource is the sparkforautism.org. I have registered for this particular organization, and they allow you to take surveys, and they award you Amazon gift cards for taking so many surveys. So I have gotten $50, $20, $10, and then I use that money to go on Amazon to purchase some of the sensory items that my child will need, and that helps a lot with the cost. At the same time with this organization, you are also participating in autism research. So they take your information that you put on the surveys. They also collect your DNA, and they do some testing on that to help you understand your family genetics when it comes to what they call an autism gene, if they find one. So lots and lots of useful information. They also have lots of articles on autism that you can download and share with your school system. The last free resource that I'm going to mention is the Autism Speaks magazine. This is a really good publication that gives you some true real life examples of other families that are dealing with autism, and they also have autism research articles that you can read as well. As I mentioned earlier, Amazon is a great place to find some sensory processing toys for your child as well. I do recommend making a list. So you can create a list on Amazon. You can put your child's name or just say sensory toys, name it whatever name you'd like to name it. And then you just kind of do your search, and then you pull those items over to your list, and you can come up with a budget. I normally have a budget of between $20 and $30 at a time, and then I will purchase all of the sensory toys within that price range, or that all of the ones I can get for $20 or $30, and then I would make my purchase that way. Sometimes they do have digital coupons attaching to those particular products, so that's another way to save. Also look for price cuts or price drops. That's another way to save on Amazon. Another thing that I like to do is go to Temu. So like right before the school year starts, I set aside a budget for just sensory processing toys, stimming toys, and things like that. And then I make my list on Temu as well. There is a way for you to save your favorite items there. Then you can just purchase all of those toys all at one time using the budget that you've set aside. The other way to purchase some autism toys and things to help with sensory processing is to go straight to companies that cater to children specifically with those needs. They do have a store called Autism Community Store. They have a website that you can visit to purchase autism toys on there. There is also an entire curriculum on autism called Zones of Regulation. They have free resources on that website, printable downloads and all of that, as well as items that you can shop for and purchase to use in-home and at school. With these websites, you want to look for discounts when you go on there. You want to look for the free shipping. You want to look for percentages off coupons, digital coupons that may be on these websites and things like that to save money. Autism Parenting Magazine is another great resource to help you with your daily activities that you deal with your child directly, such as potty training, eating behaviors, and different things like that. It helps a lot with your practical everyday issues that you have with your autistic child. So that is all that I have today. Thank you so much for listening. Let me know what resources and discounts and things like that that you use for your child. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.